Good day, people of YouTube. Welcome back here to Qwikstreet Sims. We got another Farm Manager 2021 video for you today, but it's not a Let's Play or any kind of education tutorial. Today, we're just going to highlight the 10 different changes that I would like to see made in Farm Manager 2021. So first off, I would like to thank everybody for keep coming back and viewing these videos here. I hope you enjoy watching my Let's Play for Farm Manager 2021 from Playway and Cleversan Software. And I've decided in this video, we're going to take a little bit of a break from doing the free mode that I'm doing. And I think after this, I'm going to do an extremely difficult free mode and just kind of see how that goes out. But I wanted to go over the 10 changes that I would like to see made in either Farm Manager 2021 or see the last two I think would have to go into 2023 because they're a little extensive. I actually had a few more changes in here that I wanted to see, and I actually got to see them. They are part of a lot of the most recent patches that they have been putting out for this game, which is really good, and it looks like the developers do have a roadmap out there. And they are making some significant changes that a lot of people are enjoying, not just for the game mechanics of it, but a lot of the quality of life stuff. Also, if it is still May 2021, please check out the description. We are giving away a free copy on Steam for Farm Manager 2021. And just a couple days left, so you have plenty of time to put in a handful of entries. Alright, so let's start off. We're going to start off with number 1, of course. So on my list, I would like to see crop rotation planning. So similar to what we have in Farm Simulator 19 in Seasons mode, I would like to see the ability to set up a planting schedule. So like when crop A is done and harvested, we move on right over to crop B and it just goes down the list. Maybe like a 3 or 4 round cycle going on there, and to have them structurally planned out that you're going to get a good yield bonus. So you're not going to put 2 cereals right in a row. I mean, you can, but if you do, you're going to see a less of a yield on your second thing of cereal. You know, you go from your cereal, legumes, your beets, to maybe some sort of flour, just to keep that soil rotation going. I believe that would add a lot of complexity to the game, and people, I know it's been asked for in the forums, so this would definitely be an interesting add. Okay, so for number 2 on my list, I want to see the education system in the game expanded a little bit more. I do like what they have going on, and you can get certain buffs and you can unlock some things, like the 3rd stage of a lot of the animal pens, which is really good, but I think they kind of underestimated how much we actually do want this system in the game. I believe that they should have training sessions for you to be able to do organic gardening, or organic farming, I should say. Because not every farm is going to be educated enough to start off on day 1 with doing organic farms across the board. I believe something for the organic side of it, you should be able to do the regular planting, do a certain amount of crops before you can actually unlock that tier of education, so you can send yourself or whoever in your farm to school to be able to unlock the ability to plant organic items. I also believe that all the production buildings should be unlocked through a series of education. So right on day 1, I don't have the milk processing and the slaughterhouse and the mills. I should not have access to all of those on day 1. We should be able to go through a tiered education system, kind of what they have going on here, but they just need to, fine-tune it a little bit more. I believe this would actually be another huge improvement to the game and making it a little bit more difficult. Since we're talking about production buildings, that's going to bring me up to item number 3 on my list, is I would like to see kind of a revamp to the production side of it. And this is kind of a two-parter for me. So we're going to touch with the first part, which I do see a lot in the discussion boards, that people want to see multiple products being able to be created from one production building, which is similar to in real life. You do have two production lines that are capable to be coming out of the same facility. Now, you could kind of change that up a little bit for the easy part of it, and I think it was in 2018. I did not play 2018, but I do see on the discussion boards that people have said that this was possible, and they are kind of baffled why this was not in on day one. But you should be able to make two types of cheeses on the same facility. So yes, maybe if you have... Thank you, phone. So we'll keep the milk processing, the dairy operation as our example here. So if you want to have one line doing cow cheese and the other one doing goat cheese, sure, you have your 4 people working it, and they might be creating both lines at a slower pace, or you can have just one single line doing cow cheese and you will have a faster production. Another way you could do it is, say, you only want to create X amount of cow cheese, or until you run out of cow milk, make cow cheese until that X factor comes up, and then you switch over your line over to the goat cheese and do X amount, kind of whatever you want as a predetermined. Now, the other thing that I thought about, and this is a little bit more complex, and this kind of involves areas, especially the frozen processing plant, because you don't want frozen trout being created in the same facility that you are freezing cherries in. It's just not sanitary. I don't think any of the governing bodies out there that regulate stuff would allow that to happen. So I also think that if you want to go from doing frozen trout and then all of a sudden you're switching over to frozen cherries, there should be a cool down period on that building that it's deemed unusable. Basically, the 4 employees or however many employees you have assigned to it now have to sanitize the building and get it prepared for the next item that it's producing. You could probably do this in a couple other different plants, but I think the frozen facility is the one that has the most extreme changes in it. Sure, the slaughterhouses, you do have to kind of sanitize it, but you're not going from, one animal to another compared to going from fish to cherries and stuff like that. The other item I would love to see in with the production side of it is a second tier of items that you can create. Sure, it's great. We can do all this cheese. We can do, flour and all this stuff. But what about a second level where, say, we take certain grains and we take eggs and milk or whatever, and you have maybe 2 or 3 items, one being an item that you've already produced, and creating bread or another higher leveled item. So now you need to stockpile multiple different stuff so that you can create more products, which will have a better profitability for you on that. That might be something that could be done in 2023, but the first part of my ideas for production could probably easily be done, and apparently has been done in 2018. So hopefully that could be something that we will see on an upcoming patch. Okay, so item number 4 is pretty easy, very basic. It's staff improvements. I have actually had to change this. It was always about staff improvements, but they've already made a lot of great changes by adding check marks to disable an employee's ability to do either manual labor and also use machines, which has helped out greatly with a lot of the issues that we had in the first couple days of this game, where we hired someone to do something and we didn't grab them in time, so they ended up going and working in a field manually or a greenhouse. So I believe the changes that they've made on some of their earlier patches have fixed a lot of the complaints that the players have, but there are still some changes that they can make. Easy part is there is a limit of how many people you can employ. You can only have 500 employees, which, sure, if you have a farm that has 500 employees, you're being very successful. You have a high profitability, you're doing great, but you're not using the entire map. Now, a lot of us, we do jam-pack stuff in pretty tight. Like I am for my YouTube series, as you can see. We're only using 4 plots of land out of, I believe it's either a 20 or a 25 plot land that you can buy. We're only using 4 plots, and I'm already over 300 employees. So the cap limit right now through training is 500. Be nice if they at least double that. Or I've seen some ideas on the discussion board where the training allows you to add X amount through certain training sessions that you have. Like right now, they do have it where you have to take an education class to get up to 500. But I've seen where they said you add 100, 250 to your already existing limit and such as that. Side note on the staff, I know they've added a lot more pictures because there was a lot of repetition in not just the names, but the pictures, the characters that they use in the game. I think that the characters are still very whitewashed at this point. It's something that a lot of people kind of didn't recognize at first, but there is not a ethnic blend that you can hire for your farm. Which maybe they can make a change to that. That'd be nice. One of the things I also thought that'd be really cool is if they allow real-time pictures. So their fellow fans and gamers can submit pictures. You know, they would have to have certain standards, like you have a white background on you, no logos or anything showing on your clothing. But that would be really cool to see myself have a picture in the game, and people can hire me to go and tend to the pigs or whatever they want to stick me on. Item number 5 on my list is a huge one. I think it needs to be done to really make this game difficult, because so far there is not a lot of skill after a certain point that makes this game hard to be very successful in. I believe the economic system needs to be improved a lot. The prices are good, and I do like that the market fluctuates, but you have really no control over how that fluctuates. So I think one of the things that could be done is a supply and demand model, whereas you can't flood the market with, say, you open up a farm and you end up doing 200 trout fish hatcheries, and that's all you're gonna do. Well, guess what? If you do that and all you're doing is pumping in trout meat and frozen trout meat, you're gonna flood the market, and your profits, the cost of that is gonna go down a lot, and that could affect your ability to not only be profitable, but actually might put you in the hole because you can't cover all your costs, because now instead of $4 a kilogram for a trout on any other given day, you've just flooded the market, and now trout's only worth 50 cents. So that'd be kind of cool to see that done. I don't think that you could do this kind of a multiplayer. I kind of thought a little bit that maybe the company, Cleversan or Playway, runs a database where people, all the players that are playing, everything that they sell is kind of, a number is pumped into this database, and that kind of pushes out a fluctuation into the global market. I think that would require a little bit more infrastructure on their side, and after a year or two, maybe that database isn't taken care of. But I think more of a localized supply and demand model would be really beneficial here. Another thing that would be a great improvement to the economic system is I do like the whole trade section, where I can add items into there, and I could say, hey, if it's below 100 kilograms, make sure you're buying it. I always want to make sure I have 100 in there. Or if we're over 5,000, make sure you're selling it here. Would also like to see a price point put in there. So, if trout, for example, it goes over $4 a kilogram at any point, I want to sell. Let's just sell it automatically. Or even if it's not doing it automatically, give me an alert. Up at the top where it shows the market fluctuations, I honestly don't see those icons changing a lot during my gameplay. They're usually the same. Maybe if I come back in the next day and reload the game, those items do change, but they're not changing from season to season. I could sit here for 3 hours and play on the same game, and organic honey, buckwheat honey, is going to stay up there for 3 hours. There's no way that honey is always on the rise. So I'd like to see that kind of modified a little bit. And there was something else that I had thought about for the economic system that would be really nice. Oh, real easy. If I mouse over an icon of something, pop up, let me know what it is. I mean, by now, I know what all these icons are, but it's just a nice quality of life to be added to it. Number 6, it's kind of easy, and it's just easy, I have to say, but multiple maps. Now, when I say that is because no matter what you're playing into, if you're doing the tutorial, any of the scenarios, free mode, the layout's the same. You have one road that goes right down the middle. Your farmhouse is there, which I've seen people talk about, hey, can we move the farmhouses? Sure, that's a good idea. But also, the maps are the same. The trees are in the same spot. There are 2 abandoned farms in the same locations. There's really no difference. Now, yes, it's a flat map. There is no elevation changes that you have to deal with. But what I'd like to see added is a couple different maps that we can play on. Something that has water going through it that makes it unusable land that you have to deal with. If you do that, we're going to have to add an additional type of road in there, some sort of bridge to cross. But that'd be kind of interesting to see that. Maybe some other unusable parts of the map that, sure, you can buy it just to have it. Like maybe there is a mountain there that you can't build anything on it because everything needs to be flat, which is fine. But just something that's different. I know in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, but it is nice to have different options. Now, I don't know if there is a limit to how many achievements you can have in a game, or if it has to be a certain type of game that you can have unlimited achievements. But this brings me to item number 7, is better achievements. There is not a lot of difference in achievements in this game. It's basically, oh, you completed this scenario. Perfect. Here's your achievement. You completed this scenario. Perfect. Here's your achievement. They are all very basic ones. Sure, there's one, build a wind turbine. Okay, that's easily done. Build a bee farm, which is just one bee house and one bee hive. They are all very basic achievements. Be cool to see something where it is a collection of items. Say, hey, you've harvested 1 million acres, or you've harvested X amount of kilograms of such and such flour. Now, there is one achievement in the list where it was like own 10,000 animals. That's great. I think that's the only collective achievement through the whole thing. We'll go and look at the achievements real quick, but that's basically it. I'm pulling up. Well, I gotta type in my family view thing. I mean, it's finish the campaign, finish a tutorial, finish these scenarios, but there's really nothing in there. Oh, and finish the trainings. Finish all the trainings. It is very basic. I'd like to see this kind of expanded a lot more. I don't think at this point they can do anything with 2021. Maybe once they come out with the beer and winemaking DLC, maybe they can pump in a whole bunch of other achievements for the base game, which would be great, which I do believe, and I did see it on the discussion board, the developer did say the beer and winemaking DLC, similar to 2018, is actually going to be free for 2021 players, which is going to be great. So if they can pump in a whole bunch of great achievements there, that's going to increase the playability of this game, because people are going to be achievement hunters. They are going to want to make sure that they harvest 1 million acres of orchards or whatever it is. So item number 8, and this is actually the last one. Actually, no, this one, maybe they can do it, but this is probably the first change that will have to definitely go into 2023, as well as number 9 and 10 on my list here. But number 8, I would love to see a graded scenario system for the scenarios that they have out there right now. I do believe maybe the 2 or 3 towards the bottom of the list here of scenarios might fall into this graded idea that I have. But basically every scenario right now is very dull and straightforward. They give you a set of objectives to do, and basically what you're going to do is to complete any of these. Year 1, build out animal farms. Doesn't matter that this scenario is to plant flowers and create, kilograms of oil. You don't do it in your first year. Don't even try. Just build out a whole bunch of animal pens, let your revenue stream come in, and now you can easily in year 2 buy all the equipment you need, harvest all the crops you want in year 2, and easily build every facility that you're going to need to complete the scenario. It's basically rinse and repeat for every scenario. Year 1, animals. So it'd be great if they do like a gold, silver, and bronze thing to it. Be like, oh, you were actually able to do this scenario in a year or a year and a half's time. Perfect. You get an A or a gold star or something like that. Just something that people are going to want to try to come back and replay these scenarios over and over just to get the better graded scenario. And then guess what? This could tie into item number 7. You got a gold star on the fish farming scenario. You unlock that achievement. Okay, number 9 is a doozy. And I think this would add a lot to the game. This is definitely going to be a whole rework of the game. So maybe 2023 this could be done in. But a weather system. A better use of the weather system, which first off includes not able to harvest in the rain. I know there's a few other content creators that I've played Farm Simulator with, that when we play in seasons mode, we cannot harvest in the rain because the crops are wet. That's great. That is realistic. Now, granted, we can still fertilize and all that stuff, which you shouldn't be able to do in the rain anyway, but, we'll take what we can get. But it'd be great that when it rains in Farm Manager, that kind of halts your ability to harvest land as well. It'd also be great to see that if a worker is in the middle of harvesting and it starts raining, they have to stop working for the time being. They either park the vehicle where they currently sit, and then they just sit there and wait, or they go back to their domicile so they can rest up, build up their stamina. That'd be also pretty interesting to see. I'm not sure if the rain now in the game affects the moisture of the fields, but that would also be great to see. And with that, if it doesn't rain for a while and you're running into a drought session and you have to take your water trailer out maybe another additional phase, instead of going through each field one time, maybe you have to do it 2 or 3 times. So just an expansion of the weather system would be very interesting to see. And to add on to that is in the wintertime when it is snowing, maybe to allow some sort of snow plowing ability. So this way, when you have the roads cleared, your workers that still are tending to animals, greenhouses, and other operations that you can still do during the wintertime, they can actually get to their locations faster. So if you're not doing snow plowing, it will take your employees twice as long to walk from their social residential hall to their point of employment. That also kind of brings up another thought that I thought I had on this list, and it has to do with roads. Not really weather related, but it'll also be interesting to see a difference between the 3 types of roads that they have out there. So you have your 2-lane, you have your single paved, and you have your dirt road. I don't believe there are any differences other than aesthetics for it, but it would be really interesting to see that, say, for someone who only puts down dirt roads, well, guess what? That kind of slows the employee's ability, their speed, from going back and forth. So maybe kind of a difference in that, so it makes people want to have paved roads instead of being a cheapskate and always doing dirt roads throughout their entire farm. Okay, before we get into the final item on my top 10 list, or my 10 demand list of what I would like to see changed in the Farm Manager series. I'd like to thank GameParic for giving us a free key of Farm Manager 2021 to give away. GameParic is a company that also works with Playway titles, and they do a lot of marketing for it, and they're also creating a bunch of their own games like a Bartender Simulator, Necro City, and Project Wonderwaff, or Wonderwave. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. They have a couple games that I have my eye on that look really interesting, like Lake Resort Flipper, similar to the House Flipper that Playway also has out there. But make sure you go check them out. Also, make sure you look in my description below for the link so that you too can win a free Farm Manager 2021. So, item number 10. Let's talk about item number 10, which is definitely something that would have to be added to Farm Manager 2023 because this would be a huge change into it. But mod support. Yes. So this way, users can create their own items. I mean, we all know, we're all gamers here. We all know what mods can do. They can alter the life of a game entirely. We see it all the time with Farm Simulator. It'd be really great. People can create their own crops to show up in there. And we can also do multiple different production items that we want to see in there. We can even start doing the second tiered stuff like I talked about earlier, where we're able to combine 2 other produced items and make bread or pies or pre-packaged meals with other meats that we are slaughtering in our slaughterhouses and stuff like that. We could actually have a whole series of different stuff out there that just with mod support that the user base is going to be able to create for them, and just enhances the life of the game itself long past, just running through all the scenarios that they have out there and be like, I got all the achievements, that's it. No, guess what? Someone came out with a new mod. Let's go back to Farm Manager. Let's play out through this mod. I believe that would add to the life of this game immensely. So those are my 10 items that I want to see changed in the game. I had a couple more, but like I said, they've already been completed. The developers are doing a really good job. They have a roadmap going on. They are pushing out at least an update every 2 or 3 days now, it seems. So they are interested in keeping this game alive, and they want to see it thrive. And with it thriving, we will definitely see 2023. And we could see a lot more complex changes in that title. So go ahead and check out the game. Make sure you check out my other Let's Play videos of Farm Manager 2021, as well as check out all my other videos. Make sure you subscribe, like, and also comment down below what items do you want to see changed in Farm Manager. You never know, developers might be watching this, as well as the discussion board over on Steam, and they might see your comment down below, and that might be added to the roadmap. Alright everybody, until next time, I'll see you guys on the flippity flip. Peace out.